What if the exact reason you cannot speak English is because you studied too hard? Your brain isn't failing you. A deeply defective educational system is actively sabotaging your voice. Stay with me, because today we are going to completely hack the machine. Imagine standing in front of someone, knowing exactly what they just said. You have the vocabulary, you know the grammar rules, but right when you open your mouth to reply, a terrifying silence takes over. Your brain completely freezes. Your tongue feels heavy. You know the words are hiding somewhere inside your head, but they refuse to come out. Why does your mind betray you exactly when you need it most? Welcome to Glaze English. If you want to finally break that frustrating silence and discover the secret system at the end of this video, please hit the subscribe button right now so we can keep bringing you content that truly changes how you learn. As someone who deals with complex machinery and intricate industrial systems every single day, I used to torture myself with this exact question. How is it possible that we, as highly intelligent adults who solve difficult problems at work and navigate complicated lives, find ourselves completely paralyzed by a language that a 3-year-old child speaks without even trying? We silently carry this shame. We secretly blame ourselves. We think our memory is fading, or that we are simply not smart enough, or that we missed our window and started too late in life. But I am here to tell you a shocking truth that will take that heavy weight off your shoulders immediately. You are not the problem. Your intelligence is not broken. The glitch is in the system you were forced to follow. You did not learn the wrong language. You were handed a defective blueprint. For years, traditional classrooms told us to treat English like a complicated math equation, analyzing dead rules before ever experiencing the living feeling of the words. We built a machine with the wrong parts. Today, we are going to tear down that old machine. We are going to decode the exact natural method a child uses. And I promise you, by the time we finish, your entire perspective will shift. Let us fix the glitch. To rebuild this machine the right way, we first have to look at the very foundation of how a language actually enters the human mind. For years, we were tricked into doing something called learning, where we memorize long vocabulary lists and dissect grammar rules as if we were studying for a history exam. But a living, breathing language cannot be captured in a dead textbook or a set of rigid formulas. What we truly need is acquisition. Acquisition is that quiet, subconscious process of absorbing a language through real, meaningful experiences, without even realizing it is happening inside your head. Think of it like constructing a massive industrial building. You would never attempt to put a heavy steel roof on a structure before you have poured a deep, solid foundation to support it. In language, speaking is the roof, but listening is that crucial foundation. So many of us desperately try to force ourselves to speak immediately. We push the words out, feeling anxious and unnatural. But the truth of the system is incredibly simple. You cannot produce what you have not consumed. Your mouth cannot comfortably say what your ears have not deeply and repeatedly heard. Let us carefully observe how a baby masters a simple concept like water. The child does not look up a translation in a dictionary. The child feels a real, physical sensation of thirst. They see a clear liquid in a glass. A parent hands it to them and asks, "Do you want some water?" In that exact moment, the child's brain makes a permanent, unbreakable connection between the raw sound of the word and the physical relief of drinking. They receive massive, pure input long before they ever attempt to pronounce a single syllable. But here is where our adult minds hold a powerful advantage. We do not have to wait for years to accumulate this input. We can consciously curate our environment. The secret is not to torture yourself by watching complicated, fast-paced movies that leave you feeling lost. When you do that, your system overloads and shuts down. Instead, you must seek out material where you already understand about 70 or 80% of the content. When you do this, your adult brain does something beautiful. It uses logic and context to naturally guess the missing pieces, absorbing the new words effortlessly into your permanent memory without any painful studying. Once that reservoir of pure input is full, we must move from passive absorption to active, physical calibration. When I spend my days optimizing heavy machinery and fine-tuning industrial burners, I know that understanding the theory of a machine is useless unless the physical parts are actually moving. Speaking English is exactly the same reality. It is not just a mental exercise hidden inside your brain. It is a deeply physical, mechanical action. Your tongue, your lips, your vocal cords, and your breath are physical tools that must be rigorously trained. For years, we sit in silence, reading and writing, keeping the knowledge locked safely in our minds while completely neglecting the physical apparatus required to create real sound. This is where a profound practice called shadowing becomes your absolute best tool. Shadowing is not merely repeating words like a robot. It is the art of intense mimicry. Just as a baby does, you listen to a voice and immediately echo it. But you copy the hidden music, the emotional stress, and the rhythm. You must allow yourself to exaggerate those sounds. It will definitely feel uncomfortable at first, but this physical exaggeration forces your facial muscles to build the exact muscle memory required for natural speech. So, if it is simply a matter of physical training, why do we actively choose to stay silent? The true answer lies in our fragile adult egos. In our daily lives, we have worked hard to become respected professionals. We solve complex problems and project confidence to the world. But the second we try to speak a new language, we stumble. We sound clumsy. Our brain panics, sensing this clumsiness as a direct threat to our identity. It builds a defensive wall of fear, silently telling you to stay quiet until you can speak perfectly. This desire for perfection is a devastating trap. A child never worries about protecting a professional image or feeling ashamed. A baby speaks, makes 100 mistakes, and simply tries again. To truly unlock our voice, we must completely shatter that psychological armor. We have to accept that consistency will always beat perfection. Every broken sentence is just necessary friction, proving that the gears are finally turning. After shattering that psychological armor, we must take the exposed, raw language and anchor it directly into the physical reality of our daily lives. A child does not learn by sitting at a wooden desk with a rigid vocabulary list, staring at words stripped of their meaning. For a child, the living room floor, the kitchen table, and the toys scattered across the rug are the ultimate classroom. We adults often make the tragic mistake of doing the exact opposite. We spend countless hours memorizing advanced, abstract words for a proficiency test, yet we completely ignore the physical world right in front of us. It is deeply ironic that a person might know complex academic terminology, but when they drop a tool or need to express a basic need, their mind goes completely blank. True fluency is never built on abstract concepts. It is deeply rooted in our immediate, breathing reality. To achieve this, there is one silent, exhausting enemy we must completely destroy, and that is the inner translation engine. Most of us operate with a severe processing delay. We hear an English word, drag it back into our native language, formulate a response in our native language, and then desperately try to translate it back into English before speaking. This heavy mechanical cycle is the exact reason why your conversations feel so horribly slow, stressful, and awkward. To bypass this translation delay entirely, we must build direct, high-speed neural connections through a powerful practice called visual thinking. When you hear the word apple, you should never see a translated word flashing in your mind. You should instantly picture the red skin, feel the weight of it in your hand, and imagine the sweet crunch. We can actively train this direct connection by silently narrating our daily routines. When I walk across the noisy factory floor to check the machinery, I do not translate my thoughts. I look at the massive steel structures and simply think, this equipment is running hot. When you walk outside, feel the wind and think, the air is cold today. By intentionally attaching simple English directly to your sensory experiences and daily actions, that exhausting translation engine will finally power down forever, leaving you with pure, instant communication. With that heavy translation engine finally out of the way, we are ready to assemble these pieces into a highly efficient daily machine. As someone who relies on strict protocols to keep industrial systems running, I know that even the best theories fail without an executable routine. We do not need hours of exhausting study. We just need 20 minutes of pure, unbroken consistency. Spend your first 10 minutes strictly on listening to simple, comprehensible stories. Let the raw data flow naturally into your system. Next, dedicate 5 minutes to intensive physical shadowing, moving your mouth and loudly echoing the rhythm and emotion of the speaker. Finally, spend the last 5 minutes practicing visual thinking, silently labeling the physical world around you without any translation. If you run this exact protocol every single day, the results become purely mathematical. You do not need a miracle to see progress. Within a few months, the intense friction of trying to speak will naturally smooth out. You will transition from broken, hesitant words to steady, functional conversations, entirely through compounded daily effort. But the ultimate transformation here is not about upgrading your vocabulary. It is a fundamental shift in your identity. You must completely stop viewing yourself as a struggling student who is forever preparing for some imaginary exam. You are a speaker. You are actively using this language right now in your real life. I challenge you to run this specific 20-minute system for the next 30 days without a single excuse. Commit to the process, trust the design we just built together, and let the confident voice that is already waiting inside you finally break free. Looking back at everything we have uncovered, the most profound realization is that our struggle with English was never a failure of intelligence. It was simply a mechanical failure of the learning system we were forced to adopt. We spent our entire lives memorizing complex blueprints, yet we were completely terrified to actually turn on the engine. The deep lesson here stretches far beyond just learning a language. It is a fundamental truth about how we approach any overwhelming challenge in our adult lives. We often paralyze ourselves with the intense fear of looking foolish. We allow our professional egos and our desire for perfection to stop us from experiencing the raw, messy process of true growth. To master anything real, whether it is operating a massive new piece of industrial machinery or speaking a foreign language, we have to be willing to strip away that heavy ego. We must give ourselves permission to make a mess, to sound a little clumsy, and to stumble. Just like a child taking its very first steps. But we do this armed with the relentless, structured discipline of a grown adult. You can apply this exact mindset to your life starting today. Stop treating English as some distant, stressful academic goal that you have to study for. Instead, make it a living tool that you use to navigate your everyday reality. When you walk into your workspace or your kitchen tomorrow morning, do not just stare at the physical objects in silence. Claim them in your new language. Embrace the temporary friction, knowing it is the only path to permanent fluency. I would love to hear from you. Which part of our 20-minute daily system, the listening, the shadowing, or the visual thinking, do you feel will be the most challenging for you to start, and why? Please share your thoughts down in the comments section so our community can learn from each other's perspectives. If this video helped you see your potential differently today, please hit that subscribe button to support the channel, as it gives us the motivation to keep creating more content like this for you.